So, if you've been on the internet lately, you've probably heard the term indie animation. What does it mean? Well, indie or independent animation refers to shows, short films, movie, etc., made by small studios or a single individual, especially on YouTube. Now, I'm not mentioning any shows because the video will be long, but you can watch some of them on YouTube right now. In this video, I'll be comparing to indie animated pilots, Murder Drones by Liam Vickers and The Amazing Digital Circus by Gooseworks. Why these two? Well, they were both produced by the same duo, Luke and Kevin, the founders of Glitch Productions. And you probably know them for their Hehe Funny YouTube channel SMG4. Also remember, this is just my opinions, and I'm only discussing the pilot episodes, aka the first episode of the show. So this isn't my opinion of the entire show. Also, there will be spoilers from the pilot episodes, so I highly recommend watching both Murder Drones and Digital Circus before continuing. I'll put a link to both in the description. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, how am I going to compare the two? We'll look at the following: plot, character development, humor, art style, soundtrack, pacing, and what to expect from the show in the future. Now, enough yapping, let's dive into the plots. Let's start with Murder Drones. The plot of Murder Drones, especially the pilot episode, follows the journey of Uzi, a teenage worker drone. The show is set on a dystopian planet called Copper 9, where all humans and all biological life have disappeared. The worker drones left behind must protect themselves from the disassembly drones, also known as murder drones. One of the ways the workers protect themselves is by
hide under the ice behind 3 stupid doors?
And Uzi wants to stop this instead of hiding. Now, this premise is intriguing and exciting and all. However, my main issue with Murder Drones is that it's surprisingly complex, especially for a first-time viewer. That said, the plot of the pilot is solid with one big issue. On the other hand, The Amazing Digital Circus follow a woman named Palmy, who finds out herself trapped in a game called The Amazing Digital Circus along with other 5 characters. This premise is also quite captivating, but unlike Murder Drones, it's not overly complex, which I see as an advantage. I don't have many issues with the plot, but I have one thing I wish they have explored further. There's a character named Kaufmo who becomes abstracted, which essentially means he's dead. In the context of the show, abstraction occurs when someone goes insane in some way. I wish they had a glimpse of Kaufmo getting abstracted or how the process actually happens, but they'll probably explore that in a future episode. For now, The Amazing Digital Circus gets the point for the plot. Now let's move to character development. Murder Drones does focus on characters, but it's more of a lore-heavy show. Let's break down the main characters and their development potential. Uzi, the main protagonist, a teenage worker drone who wants to fight back against the murder drones and the company that created them. She has a rebellious and determined spirit. N, one of the murder drones and a secondary protagonist. He struggles with his role, failing to carry out his orders. Also, Un and Uzi have a decent conversation and they start getting to know each other, which I really like. V, another murder drone who excels at her job of killing worker drones. She's shown as ruthless and views and as a failure kinda, but honestly I find her pretty hateable. J, the leader of N and V, but that doesn't mean she's the CEO of the company, by the way. She also views N as a failure too. J is a decent character but doesn't stand out too much in the pilot. Now let's move to Digital Circus, which actually focuses more on its characters. Pomni, the main protagonist, trapped in the digital circus, trying to escape while dealing with immense stress and anxiety. Her development potential is huge and I'm excited to see where it goes. Kane, the ringmaster who assigns the trapped humans adventures to prevent them from going insane. He's a fun character, though sometimes he can get a bit too loud and obnoxious. Jax, A prankster who likely uses humor to stay sane. While he's one of my favorites, he's a bit overrated. Some people started hating him after episode 2, though I still love him. Ragatha? She's compassionate and tries to comfort the other characters, especially Palmy, to prevent abstraction. She has a fear of centipedes, which could be explored in future episodes. Both shows offer strong character development potential, but I'm leaning towards the amazing Digital Circus because of its deeper emotional arcs and mature themes and variety. Remember, this is just my opinion. If you see my Despicable Me for review. If not, check it out. I briefly mentioned murder drones. And even the main plot sometimes, not all of them made me laugh, but a few did. A few? But don't worry, it's not just Despicable Me. I mean, there are movies and shows I like the plot and the characters. But most of the jokes are just not for me. Or maybe because they don't have the best writers. Or the humor style isn't for me. I mean, I'm working on a webtoon and I'm not the best of writing humor, but I did try. Yeah, the humor in Murder Drones isn't really my style. The humor can feel childish and cringy sometimes in the pilot alone. However, there are still funny moments, and the pilot does a decent job of giving us a taste of the show's humor. It mostly makes me chuckle, which is fine. On the other side, the amazing Digital Circus is similar in that it also makes me chuckle rather than laugh out loud. But it doesn't make me die from cringe or feel childish. My only issue is probably Kane with him being loud, but yeah. And also, I don't know, the jokes feel so similar, but hey, in episode 2 it was a little better. But I said we are only discussing the pilot episodes, so yeah. Overall, Digital Circus shows us a glimpse of how the humor will feel. Inshallah, it will be better in future episodes. Both shows share a dark humor style, with Digital Circus leaning more to physical comedy. However, for the pilot episodes alone, I'd say Murder Drones edges out Digital Circus slightly in terms of humor, because at least Murder Drones has this.
Lucy! I'm so sorry. Have fun repressing this?
Ew! What the hell?
Which I think is funny. Anyway, let's see the art styles, which is my favorite part. Murder Drones has a more realistic art style, which isn't my usual preference. While it's not overly detailed, it does add to the unsettling atmosphere, especially with the robot corpses. And also the fight scenes looks epic, especially this scene I'm showing right now. Also, the robot designs are great, and the cold and dark visuals fit the show's vibe perfectly. Considering it was made by an indie company, the art style is impressive. Digital Circus, on the other hand, is more cartoony, and using squash and stretch techniques. The art style kinda reminds me of Super Mario 64 and Pixar's Tin Toy. The character designs are unique and memorable. Kane is literally a set of teeth. The show is vibrant and colorful, yet still maintains a dark vibe. So, which one do I prefer? The realistic action-packed style of Murder Drones, or the colorful cartoony look of Digital Circus? Honestly, I like Digital Circus's art style more, so it gets the point. Murder Drones has some really fire soundtracks, especially the opening of the pilot. And also the fighting scenes and the end credits, to name a few. Overall, Murder Drones soundtracks fit the show, and the pilot shows that perfectly. Digital Circus also has fire soundtracks like the opening and ending of the pilot. Even though I've seen them everywhere back in October 2023, I still love them nonetheless. But my favorite is when Palmy entered the void by accident. Both are great, but Murder Drones takes the edge. Not much to say. Murder Drones' pacing is fine, until we are at the middle of the pilot. I'm not a fan of it cause it feels very slow, which drags it down a bit. But hey, I feel like it's understandable cause we I guess get to know more about this world. But it still feels dragged down. For Digital Circus, the pacing is also fine, but there is something I like to criticize. In the middle of the pilot, it gets cut to Pomni running from Kaufmo to the Gloink Adventure, and then Pomni to the Gloink Adventure. This can make the pacing feel messy, but at least there was some goofy moments here and there. But I'll give the edge to Murder Drones. If you finished the pilot for Murder Drones, you would probably say it has potential. I would say the same thing. I know Murder Drones has ended, so it's hard for me to say some likely expectations. But some likely expectations are: will Uzi's dad die? Will Uzi and the Murder Drones get along well? And will we see humans? These are the best I can come up with, but in short, I think Murder Drones has a lot of potential. Digital Circus also has lots of potential. Expectations like: will Ragatha face her fear of centipedes? Who will abstract in future episodes, or will someone even abstract? And will we see humans? Now I tried adding expectations, especially for Murder Drones. But both are in a tie now, so the winner is... The Amazing Digital Circus. Sorry, Murder Drones fans, but hey, remember this isn't about comparing the entire show. I still highly recommend watching Digital Circus and Murder Drones. I'm curious to hear your opinions on both shows, especially the pilot episodes. And what other indie cartoons do you want me to talk about? Let me know in the comments. And please, no hell of a boss or has-been hotel. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you guys next time.